What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Hoosier. Wow, why do I speak so fast? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Hoosier State Fishing. This is going to be just an installation video for the Newport Motors NK180 Pro. I am now an ambassador for Newport Motors. Super excited to announce that. And I've already unboxed everything. I've got it charged up fully. Here's the motor. Pretty excited about it. I don't necessarily know what I'm doing yet. That's the controller there. I've just got kind of everything just kind of haphazardly strung about the garage here. This is the mounting plate. One thing that I'm concerned about, other than having never done this before, is I don't know. This is these are the mounting holes. I'm assuming these are like plastic plugs to potentially protect the threads, if there are threads. If not, I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do. I haven't seen this online at all, so not really sure what I'm gonna do about that. Alright, so I've got a flathead here. I'm gonna see, sorry for the noise here, I don't have a microphone plugged in, so it's gonna pick up all of the noise from the GoPro little tripod that I've got on. I'm so sick of a GoPro, to be honest. I think I'm gonna sell all my GoPros and get DJI cameras. But so here we go. So if you can see this, I think these things are plugs. It looks to be that way. And I'm surprised that I didn't see this. Are they plugs? Yeah, it looks like it. Let me see if I can pull that out. Just get a pair of pliers here. I hope that's what these are. Sorry for the noise, guys. Let's see if I can pry it up anymore. Yeah, that's definitely seems to be what these are. Thank you. I'm so glad that that's what it is. Everything that I saw online, they didn't have these plugs. They were already removed. So, and you know, I'm late to the game. I don't have, yeah, there we go. Perfect. See if you guys can see that. Sorry for the noise again. There you go. That's just a threaded insert. These lights are really bright. I just installed these overhead lights. They're super bright, that one there and this one here. But I'm gonna go ahead and get these removed. So there you go. I guess there's a benefit. There's so many other installation videos for this. I haven't seen any mention that you have to remove these. It may seem like a dumb little detail, but could be important to somebody. Okay, let's get those removed and then we'll continue on. Keep in mind, I've never done this before, so no idea what I'm doing. No idea which steps to take. We're just gonna wing it. Okay, I got them out, but I'm not so happy with having to pry them out and kind of marring up the insert. Fortunately, I didn't get into the threads at all, so that'll be that'll be covered up by the mounting plate. So let's go ahead and get that on. So here's the mounting plate, Newport Motors mounting plate. All right, and that just sits there like that, and then we've got to find the bolts for that. So let me go ahead and try to find those. Cool thing is that all this stuff came, this is their new 24 volt 50 amp hour battery, lithium ion. Pretend like I know what all this means. But it was all very packaged up very nicely. They provide a wrench, Allen keys, I think, tools that you need. You got a prop wrench. I think our mounting bolts are going to be in this bag here because this has got all of our rigging lines and all that stuff. So I'm going to dig through this bag real quick and we'll get back to it. All right, I got that that bag open. Everything's nicely labeled. We've got the, I think that's the like reverse cable and then the cable to pull the motor up because it swivels up. We've got wrenches. We've got our trim pin. They're all labeled. I think these are motor mount bracket hardware. Look at that. Would you look at that? It's just a simple Phillips head screwdriver, so I'll grab one of those. Ratcheting. I really prefer not to use I really prefer not to use power tools. Just, I don't want to risk stripping something out, so whatever. Just exercise caution with whatever you decide to do. There we go. We've got a little lock washer. I'm gonna go ahead and get those installed. Let's go ahead and get one installed, and then I'll pick this camera up. There we go. All right, let's go ahead and get the rest of these installed. Super excited about this motor. Oh, I just noticed something. I forgot. I installed the Boondocks rudder. It's aluminum, and it just bolts right in place of your old factory plastic rudder. But I'm hoping this little bit bigger size and rigidity from the aluminum helps with steering, because I'm not going to be using foot pedal steering or anything like that. I'm just going to be, excuse me, I'm going to be steering with my my rudder. So we'll see. Hopefully that helps. But yeah, pretty excited about it. Let's go ahead and continue on. All right, so I think we're ready to put the motor on the motor mount. The motor, from what I've seen on other YouTube videos, one video, which I'll shout him out, it's Summertime Outdoors. I watched his video quite a bit to try to get myself familiarized with what's going on. It looks like the motor comes with everything that you need just to install right directly to the mount, other than the bolt that goes through, which I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. So go ahead and grab that. This is the motor drum pin bolt, and I'm going to go ahead and get this installed, and then we'll go from there. So looks like it's got these little cotter pins, so we're just going to pull those out, or one of those out. It is threaded, which is cool. Go ahead and get this ready. I'm going to set this right here, and I'm assuming this bad boy goes just like this. Get the, there we go. There. Yeah. I don't know why that seems awfully thin of a rod, but whatever. We're just going to go ahead and boom. That locks in nice and tight. We're going to go ahead and put this little clip back in. Super easy. Boom. And that's a good stopping point. Go ahead and show you what I've got so far. There's the motor. We'll get that straightened up when we continue on. I think this is the steering tree, which we will not be using. But yeah, there we go. That's where we're at so far. Go eat some din-din, come back and get the rest of this stuff, or attempt to get the rest of the stuff installed. So stay tuned. All right, so dinner's done and it's time to continue on. I've got the motor installed, and now we need to install this bracket. And I believe this bracket right here is for it's kind of a lever that one of the lines attaches to, that you can pull your motor up if you're not going to use it, or if you needed to get out of the way of you know, shallow water or whatever. So we'll go ahead and get that unpackaged and get it installed. Oh, I already opened it. So throw the trash away. And then I think, yeah, so this attaches to the collar, the steering collar or column, I don't know, whatever it is. It's already got a bracket on there. It's got a bolt, and I believe that's what the wrenches are for. So let's get on over here. I believe, like I was saying, that this is where this installs, is this right here. So let me get you a little closer here. I'm not sure if you can see this, or hopefully you can. Yeah, looks like you can anyway. So this right here, I mean, it does come with, what is this, 10 millimeter? Yeah, so these are the correct. So, but I think I'm gonna try to find my own tool. So hold on one second. There we go. Now, I believe this guy goes in here. No, it must be like this. Right? I believe so, yep. Okay, let's get that hole lined up. So, if you can see, this has 2 notches, or 2 little ears on it. This is a bigger ear, bigger hole, smaller little ear, smaller hole, smaller hole, smaller ear. Goes here. That rhymes. Alright, let's go ahead and get this tightened. I might need to get this, loosen this back up because I need to adjust. The motor needs to spin. It is not facing the right way, so I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and, since it's already on here, I'm going to go ahead and loosen it up and try to spin this so that I can align the motor. If you can see what I'm talking about, this collar, if you loosen these 2 bolts, that should loosen this collar to where I can spin and index the motor properly, because right now that's the way their motor should be facing, but obviously you can see the steering column there where the steering line's attached to is not lined up. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Actually, looks like it's supposed to go this way. Yeah, okay. There we go. So I need to turn the motor this way. There we go. All right, that should be good. I'll go ahead, I'll make sure I'll tighten those up here in a minute, but now as you can see, the motor is properly lined up. So anyway, all right. And now that I've got this turned the right way, I can see that there is a hole in this bracket here. And if you lift the motor up, there's also a plate right there with a threaded insert, or a threaded hole. And I believe that is where this comes into play. And I believe this steering lock screw is to lock the motor in place so that it won't turn. So if you're going to be using hand steering or foot steering, you would want to not use this. If you're going to be using your rudder as a means to steer this thing, then you're going to want to lock the motor from being able to turn. So we're going to go ahead and install this because I am not using any sort of foot controls or hand controls as far as controlling the motor itself to steer. I'm just going to be using my rudder. Now, that may change because I've heard that there's a way that you can integrate the steering lines from this into your Hobie rudder steering system, which I may entertain that idea in the very near future. So let's go ahead and get this installed, and then we'll move right along. I don't know if they included the proper Allen wrench for this, so go ahead and see what we got here. Looks like it's going to be a 3mm. Yep. It's pretty cool that they send you extras just in case. I'm just going to lift that up a little bit to get the threads aligned to make sure that I'm not stripping anything. Once this locks us down, you should be able to turn the... Yeah, I can turn the motor and get it lined up. Get the prop in line with the rudder, is what I mean to say. Now that we've got that installed, we've got the locking pin installed. The steering lock screw is what they're calling it. That's installed. Now I loosened these 2 after I got the this lever installed. I loosened these 2 bolts, or these 2 nuts, so that I can turn the motor and index it correctly in line with my kayak. And it looks pretty good. By the way, I ended up finding that cart right there to put my kayak on for $70 on Facebook Marketplace. Honestly, it's little things, man, but it's a game changer. I mean, I can move my kayak in and out of my garage super easy now. And the height of it is perfect because now I can wheel my kayak out and directly into the back of my truck. So it's just awesome. It's got a little storage underneath there for all my accessories. So anyway, now I can check to see if this thing, I mean, that looks pretty straight, pretty dead on. All right, guys, so I think what we're gonna do next, since we've got the motor installed, we've got the steering lock pin installed, we've got the steering tree or steering bracket bolts and the lift arm installed. Everything's good to go there. I think we're gonna go ahead and install the lift rope. So that's gonna be, is it this? No, it's gonna be this right here, this bag. So lift and reverse lines, if you can see that. Lift and reverse lines. And it's gonna come with an aluminum handle. We'll go ahead and dump that stuff out. Let's bring it over here in some good lighting. Got these. Got the green one here. This is going to be for reverse. It even says it on the little aluminum handle, reverse. Put that to the side. We're going to go ahead and do this first. We're going to do the lift line. It already comes with a nice little carabiner with the little barrel nut that locks it in place. Super nice hardware. It comes with everything you need, which is, I've been noticing that. It's got spare parts, so these are these little drum knob cotter pins. Comes with those. Comes with spare cotter pins, a spare steering lock nut or lock screw or whatever. It's got nice little pulleys. So anyway, let's go ahead and get this installed. I'm going to go ahead and cut this tie strap. There we go, got it. Got it. Nice little line. And it looks like this bad boy right here clips onto here. And I assume, yep, that's how we're gonna lift this thing, by pulling this. Of course, this kayak is on a cart, so it wants to roll, and I believe these little rigging eyes, whatever you want to call them, it's to keep your lines nice and organized. I believe that's where that's gonna go. So let me get everything situated here and find out a little bit more. At least we know that's what we're doing next, is the lifting line to lift the kayak motor out of the way. All right, so one thing that I'm like I really am worried about is having a bunch of like 550 quarter or rigging lines, whatever you want to call this stuff, all over the place. Because I'm gonna have this one for the lifting, you know, of the motor. I'm gonna have the gray one for the reverse is gonna be attached here, and it goes off to that side. I don't want to, you know, I'm gonna have my rods here, and I don't want a bunch of lines and stuff getting snagged up. It's one thing that's always kind of a pain in the butt. That's one of the things that's a pain in the butt about kayak fishing, is rigging and just having everything organized and out of the way. It's hard to do in such a small space. So I took a look. I've got some gear track here where my Yak Attack rod holders go. I'm probably gonna take these out for now to see what I can do. I went through my toolbox. I've got a little drawer kind of dedicated to, like, you know, kayak fishing stuff. My dad several years ago gave me his kayak. It's a Tarpon 120 by Wilderness Systems, and I took off, it came with these pad eyes or whatever you want to call them, these right here. I took those off and repurposed them on my my native, when I was with Native Watercraft, and now I've used them on I've got them on my Hobie. But I found two more that I have, and here they are. Where are they at? Are they in here yet? I've got two right here that have, you know, these locking. Actually, back in the day, since I didn't want to buy anything, I actually made these little tabs that slide into your track system. I just cut some metal and drilled and tapped them for the right size, but they're gonna just slide in there. And I'm hoping that these can kind of help me manage my line a little bit. So I do have some Yak Attack nuts that will work, some, you know, track nuts or whatever you want to call them. So I'm gonna see what we can do about this to see if we can clean this line up a little bit. So stay tuned. I'm gonna get these installed. see if it works. Okay, so as you can see, I hope you can see, our lift line is going to go through these little pad eyes, I guess you could say, gear track pad eyes. And let me go ahead and pick you guys up. I've got it coming from here down through these provided little pad eyes, whatever you want to call them, through the ones from the old Kayak, the old or the, what was it, Tarpon 120. I'm gonna have to install this real quick. I think we should be fine. I'm just gonna put this on now and see what we can do. But for now, I think this should be fine. Looks like the line's just gonna go right around the outside of that, just around here. And I mean, it's just, I don't think it's gonna get snagged up at all. And I mean, it's still pretty easy to pull the motor up. So it appears to be working pretty well, and that gets that line out of the way. I mean, if I hadn't done that, if I had just done this straight up without any kind of rigging or pad eyes, you can see it would have been all messed up in there where my kayak crate's going to be, all up in my... I don't want to deal with any of that. So for now, unless I can come up with a better solution, I think this is going to be the way to go. Through there, kind of along the outside of here, my rod holders, boom. I mean, I could always take some of these normal, you know, plastic pad eyes. I could drill a bunch of holes in my kayak and kind of have some rigging, you know, but I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to do that. So I think for now, I think this is going to be the way to go. So that's where we're at, and we're going to have to attach that little the blue handle to the end of this rope, the lifting rope. I'm going to be bringing it up here. I think we're going to have to cut it to size because it's going to sit somewhere up here. It's going to sit somewhere up here where I'm sitting. I'm going to have that handle somewhere, and I'm also going to need, let me unhook this. I'm going to need to be able to lock this in place. So when I pull this motor up, I need to be able to lock it so it doesn't fall back down. So I have an idea for that as well. Back when I had my native watercraft, what was it, the Slayer XC, I ended up buying one of these. It's a locking cam by Schaefer, and they're a little pricey, but they're very high quality. And I don't know, I'll link this in the description if it's something that you decide you want to do. I also customized this to work for my kayak. I don't know, it's hard to explain. So I'm sure there's probably better ways to do this without a bunch of drilling and tapping, which I had to do for this to get it to work. But I basically made a mount for it to where it'll mount to any gear track with these little tabs. But I had this circular washer, this circular part here, and as you can see, there's screws right there that this attaches to, and it goes down through it into this circular washer, and I don't know, it's pretty involved. But if you want one of these locking cams, I'll at least link that in the description so you have a link to it. But basically, this allows you to pull a rope one way, and then once you lock it down, it locks the rope and keeps it from dropping or going back the other way. So that was a lot. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get this installed. I think that's the way I'm going to go for now. And yeah, stay tuned. Okay, so here's what I've got going on. I moved my Anchor Wizard. By the way, I finally ended up getting one of those Anchor Wizard mounts from Snipe Air Industries and installed it, I don't know, last month or so. But anyway, it just really helps with rigidity. It utilizes both sets of track here. But anyway, so I moved it forward move these out of the way for the time being, and got this installed. This is the cam, and so here's how this works. You pull this, it locks with those, if you can see it, you pull it forward and it locks, and it will not allow that rope to go backwards. So how this works is I'll have that handle on there, and say I'm in shallow stuff, or I don't want to use my motor anymore. I pull it up, you can see it's up, and then lock it into place here, and it is locked up and out of the way, as you can see. And that's not going to go anywhere because that locking cam holds that rope in place and doesn't allow it to go backwards. And I mean, you can see it's not going anywhere. I can push this whole kayak back. But yeah, so I've got the line going from that there to one of these pad eyes from the old kayak around my rod holders, which it doesn't seem to be affecting it in any way. Into that pad eye right there. Along here, it's kind of in the way of my, whatever, but I mean, at least it's on the towards the outside of the kayak. So it's out of the way of my rods and stuff. And then it goes right here to this cam, this locking cam that I've got jerry rigged. But hey man, if it works, it works. So that's that. Trying to think what else. So now what I need to do is get this rope, this reverse line, cut to size so that I can attach my handle. So what I think I'm going to do is leave it in the down position, cut the rope to size. I mean, I'd probably leave a little bit, and that way when this motor's down and I've got the rope, is slack on it or whatever, that handle will just kind of hang right here. Or maybe I can leave a little more and maybe let it hang down in there or something. I don't know if this is even going to be my final setup, but for now this is what's going to get me going on the water. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this to size, attach the handle to my liking, and yeah, I'll let you know how it turned out. Okay, so I'm going to stick this. There's a little hole, as you can see, hopefully, right there. Going to stick our line through there. And fortunately, this all just looks like standard 550 cord, so if you make a mistake, it looks like it'd be pretty easy just to get some new 550 cord and redo it if you need to. So I'm going to pull this. So right now the motor's down. What I want to do is I'm gonna figure this out, tie a knot, and that way, so then when this motor's down, it's just gonna rest right there like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and tie a knot. There's gonna be a little bit more slack, but I'm gonna go ahead and tie this knot like this. I don't want to cut anything until I'm like satisfied with the placement. I really would like to get this down in there as much as possible, so I'm going to try to do that. There we go. So there's going to be a little bit hanging down. That's whatever. It's not in the way. So I've got a knot tied. Looks like that's not going to go anywhere. I'm going to go ahead and pull this on through. I'm going to lift the motor up a little bit. Pull this knot through. I'm going to cut it about right there and burn it. So let's get this thing cut. I'll leave a little bit hanging off. There we go. Let's go ahead and get this burnt. Nice little torch lighter. Nice knot. I like to take these pliers and flatten that down so it melts into itself. And it's nice and melted now. That's not going to go anywhere. We can pull this through. Boom. So there we go. So now that motor's down like that. That's just going to hang there or whatever. Just going to hang down. It's not in the way. And then when I want to pull this thing up, I just pull it and lock it in place. And the motor's up, out of the way. I got this handle. I can set it over here. I can set it, put it down in there if I want, or even just stick it right there. I mean, that's perfect. And that's nice and clean. The line goes outside of the kayak, no big deal. And if you want to go, lift it up out of that locking cam, and then it'll just hang like that right there. Matter of fact, if you want to lock it just a little bit, you could just lock it in there, keep it from flopping around, but there you go. And for now, that's gonna get me on the water. So there we go. So now I think I'm gonna go ahead and attach the reverse line. And this is to, if you want to kick this motor in reverse, you have to pull this mechanism, and that will keep this motor, because if you were to not lock it down, it would make this motor want to jump up and out of the water and stuff. So you have to lock it if you want to go in reverse. So that's what we're going to install next. So I'm sitting here thinking, I realize that I have to do my reverse cable, but I don't have any more of those pad eyes, so I don't quite know what I'm going to do about that line. I've got that right there that they include. I don't know what I'm going to do about cleaning it up on this side, but we can get to that. There's something that I need to do though. I've been wondering why this thing is so floppy, and I realized, oh yeah, there's holes there. I think they call these trim holes. It trims the motor in different positions for, performance. And we've got the motor trim pin, the motor mount trim pin. So I'm gonna go ahead and open this up. And according to Summer Outdoors, or Summer's Outdoors, I think that's his YouTube channel, he says that the second one is best for mounting, or for trimming, for Hobie kayaks. So I think we're gonna go ahead and just put it right there. I'm gonna move this motor up a little bit, run it through here. And that stops the motor from going any farther. And apparently, like I said, this second hole is best for Hobie. So we've got the trim pin installed. It's not going anywhere else. It's gonna stay right there. Got our lifting line installed, which installing that trim pin gave us a little bit more slack. It's okay. So I guess we need to figure out this reverse line. All right, so this is the reverse cable. Comes pre-attached with a carabiner. Got to attach it to that little bracket there, and that locks it down. Locks it down, and then you can't push the motor. Once that's locked into place, this motor will not kick up when you put it in reverse. So we got this installed. Let's get the handle installed. Okay, I think I've got it figured out. So we've got it attached for our reverse plate. Goes through this provided little pad eye thing. And then what I've done, just to keep it as clean as possible without drilling holes for now, is I've got it going through the stock bungee cord holders that Hobie has. I've got it running through this one, and that kind of keeps it nice and flat out of the way, and it kind of runs along underneath our bungees here. I know I've got crap everywhere. Okay. Underneath our bungees, and then there's another one right here. So as you can see, it's pretty good and out of the way. It still actuates the reverse plate, or the reverse lock, and allows it to spring back up out of the way, or unlocked. And then got it running up here. And as far as what I'm gonna do about this handle, not quite sure yet. What I might do is probably just like put it right here and just kind of let it hang in here. Maybe in this little hole here, or just down in here, maybe even put it in there. So it's easily accessible if I want to go in reverse. I can just, that's pretty clean. It's pretty out of the way. It's out of the way of my rods. So I think that's what we're gonna roll with right now. And if I want to change it, I can always change it in the future. So for now, let's go ahead and get this installed the same way that we did the motor lift handle. Really excited to get this out on the water and use it. My wife, thanks to her, got this for me as a anniversary. It was our 18-year anniversary on April 5th. So anniversary gift slash birthday, which my birthday was on the 16th, so that was this past Wednesday. Turned 39 this year, kind of crazy. Last year in my 30s. So anyway, big shout out to her. Newport, I actually applied for the ambassador program before I had a motor. Fortunately, they accepted me, and I just kind of been sitting in limbo. Now that I have the motor, Indiana, the weather's been terrible. We just got a whole bunch of rain again. So I don't know when I'm going to be able to get this out. Hopefully soon. I'm sure all the rivers are probably blown out, but if worse comes to worse, I could always take it to the lake. That'd probably be the best place to test out this motor anyway, rather than getting it on a river. Especially when you're dealing with any kind of, you know, higher than normal flows. I would prefer not to have this thing out on the river when it's, you know, somewhat high. So there we go, we've got the tag end burned. We've got us a nice knot, so that's not going anywhere. So now we've got our reverse lock, and when not in use, this thing can just sit right there in that little hole, you know, or whatever, just hang right there. Matter of fact, I could always could even do this, put it through here. That keeps it from flopping over the side of the kayak, keeps it kind of right there, and you can still lock it in place. So that's probably what I'll do for now. That's pretty clean, pretty out of the way. The line's not, you know, it runs along the side of my kayak. So for now, I think that's probably the best bet. Oh, also, from Snipe Air Industries, I also, was it Snipe Air that makes the seat riser for the Hobie Outback? I'm so late, man. I'm so late to the game on everything. I finally got a seat riser. Can't wait, because the seat position on this thing, it's a comfortable seat, but it just sits way too low. I'm super excited about that. Also, because I've got the new battery, the Low Pro battery from Newport, waterproof, and I think that's gonna sit perfectly underneath my seat. And I know that there's a company called Yak Gadget. They make an underseat tray system that I might consider picking up if I don't make my own. That'll allow it to slide. It's like a drawer system, so it'll pull in and out and put some other stuff in there, some soft plastics or whatever, but I think that's going to be great too, so it might be something I consider getting, but pretty exciting, man. It's fun getting this thing all rigged up, finally. So anyway, I think the next step is to install the throttle. Currently, I've got it installed on the throttle mount that Newport provides. It's a aluminum mount, and it's got gear track tabs, and that would sit right here. But yesterday I ordered the Yak Attack Newport throttle mount, and it's basically just a, you know, track mounted riser, and it's got a little plate that this will mount to, and it'll get it up off, you know, up, and you can position it, because otherwise this thing would just be sitting here like this. So just, I don't know, it'd be nice to have it kind of up here, you know, so I can easily access it, whatever, you know what I mean. But in the meantime, I might go ahead and just install that so that we can test the motor out. I think we're at that point where we can test this thing. All right, I think it's time to hook the battery up and all of the connections. So I think what I first need to do is just get this battery underneath my seat and kind of fit that up to see what it's going to look like. So we'll go ahead and do that right now. This thing is, I don't know, it's pretty heavy. I mean, people say it's light, but it's, you know, it adds up in a kayak, but it's gonna slip right up under here. It looks like it's gonna fit really well. And it's got these rubber feet on the corners here to prevent it from sliding around. So it fits in there nicely. I might switch that up at some point, but we'll see. For now, it's gonna work. And then my connections are gonna come right out the back here. And I'm gonna have to figure that out. I'm gonna have to figure out how to rig that up, but there's positive, negative. Got a lot of cords to figure out here. I think these are the main, these are from the battery. So I'll go ahead and, I guess, get those plugged in real quick. I can run these underneath, whatever, just to get them out of the way. Shouldn't be that big of a deal. It's got a nice nylon coating or wrap around the wires to keep them together. So I think these are run back here towards the motor and plug in here. Okay, this right here is the cable. Pretty sure this is the cable for the that runs to the throttle controller. Am I tripping? What is going on here? Is this right? I think. Is that it? I guess that's it. Yeah, that's it. That's the connection. Wow, okay. So there we got it. That's it. So all this other cording, these cords are not needed because these are for the square, you know, deep cycle looking battery. Not, you know, it's still a lithium battery, but it's just it's the square box looking battery and not the low pro battery. So anyway, those aren't necessary for the battery that I have. Not sure why I don't know what this is for still. I don't know. I have no idea what that's for. I don't even know where that came from. It was in the box. So anyway, now we need to connect this. It's all over the place, isn't it? Okay, that seemed to be connected. So now we will take this cable, run it on down. Man, that is really long. Holy crap, dude. We're gonna have some cable management issues. So anyway, I'll get you set up here so you can see what's going on. It's female, male. And very carefully get these pins lined up. There, we're good. Oh, we already have power. Why do we have an error message? I just pressed and held the power button. I don't really know why I did that, but we have power. So I think I need to research real quick the manual and take a little read here and see what we've got going on. Okay, so there's a mode button here that allows you to change. We need to switch from, it says battery type D, that's deep cycle, to battery type Li, which is lithium. So there we go. I'm not sure where that error code was coming from. That may have been what it was. Well, I don't know. I mean, it's not beeping at me anymore. Should we just go ahead and give her a fire up? Let's make sure that it's not. No, I got nothing. Okay, so I've got nothing. Oh. Okay. Power off, maybe? Power on. So that means that the safety control key or whatever, the kill switch is on. Okay, now that's on. That's off. Okay. Oh, we're in neutral. Oh. We have power. Dude. So I guess we're sounds like we're connected. Let's give her some juice. 86% power. Neutral. Reverse. Neutral. Cool. 100%. Cool. Power off. I think we're good. I think we're done. I think we're done installing this thing. I need to figure out my cable management. I got extra long, you know, cables or whatever, but I think that's it. Pretty freaking sweet, man. I'm pretty excited. The main thing that I'm really excited about is to be able to do single access floats on the river. So if it's just me solo, I can put in at the put in spot, fish downstream, and then motor on back up, take out single access floats. It's going to be a game changer. Pretty excited about it. So anyway, that's my take, if you will, on installing the NK180 Pro by Newport Vessels. So, oh yeah, and also you can check the link down in the description for and it's, I don't want to call it an affiliate link. Anyway, but you can use my link in the description to get some money off if you decide to purchase one of these things. So please use that link, and it'll be all linked in the description. I'll try to link everything from this video in the description, so use those links, it'll help me out. So the Yak Attack Newport Vessels throttle mount came a little earlier than I expected. It was supposed to come later tonight. Today's Sunday, it's the day after the install. I'm gonna go uninstall, take off the throttle mount from the track system, bring it over here, get it screwed down, and we'll install this whole thing as a unit. There. So now that's mounted, so let's go stick that on our gear track. Okay, so this is the lock and load base. It's got this right here. You just unlock it with this lever. Boom, it falls off like that. But it's got gear track. I think, where do I want to mount this? Do I want to mount it inside or outside? Probably on the outside. And then I can change it if I need to, but for now, that's what I'm doing. So I'm gonna put it right here, back at the very end of this track, tighten it down, and then this, boom. And then once that locks in, you can push it and you can spin it any way you want. And I won't know the position that I want until I get in my kayak, but you turn this and this one here. You can position this thing. I'll probably do something like this right here. Boom, there we go. Then we got our cable, excess cable. I can pull through here and just kind of wrap that around if I want. Whatever. And then boom, plug it in, good to go. Pretty clean. That'll be right in line with my chair. I can control it if I want. Not bad. I don't really like how flimsy that is, but I don't think there's really anything you can do about it, but just because it's so high, but it ain't gonna go anywhere. Famous last words. Anyway, yeah, there we go.